Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Tinman here. I hope you've all had a Merry Christmas and some great time off. We certainly have. It's been great. So yeah, I hope you've had a good one. Now, I'm back with another physical media video because the response to the first video that I did was astonishing, to be honest. It's just gone woo, which is great. But some people had asked me in the comments, I thought this was the rules of physical media about collecting. Now, that wasn't what it was, and also that's not what I'm going to give you for a part two, because we all know the rules of collecting physical media. We're all adults. We know what to do. But what I thought I'd come and do with part two was to give you my 5 reasons why I love physical media. Why not? So here we go. Part 1: the collection at home. There's nothing better than seeing your collection on your wall or in a shelf or on a stack or whatever. I love seeing my DVDs or my Blu-rays or my vinyl all stacked up together. There's nothing better than seeing it all together. I love the spines. I love the film logos. I'm big on fonts, movie fonts. I love movie fonts. So when these DVDs have all these awesome spines with little things on it, even little things like the logos in the corner, the Universal logo or the Scream Factory, I love it all. I love it all. I love seeing it all bunched together. I love having collections of films together, like your Halloweens, your Nightmare on Elm Streets, in order, in line. That's how it should be. I've seen people who, to save space, they ditch the covers. They ditch the DVDs or Blu-rays. They bin them and they have them in a wallet. And it's like, no, that's not what it's about. I mean, if that's what you want to do, then fine. But for me, it's seeing it all together, seeing all the beautiful lined all up together, even if, yes, it takes up a lot of space, but you know what? That's part of the love of collecting. So yeah, collecting, man. Part 1 is the collection at home. Nothing better. Number 2 is something that you don't really get with streaming services anymore. Well, some of them you do, but not the same kind of love, and that's special features. Now, for a point, I'm going to say is menu screens for a starter, because menu screens are great on DVDs, on Blu-rays. More so much on DVDs than Blu-rays. Blu-rays gone a little bit lax with it, but DVD menu screens are amazing. Take this Ghostbusters one. Look at the interactiveness of that. If you leave the screen, you can see characters walking past. I think Stay Puft comes in it in a minute, and you can interact and do that. I mean, that's just one example. Another example of what a really frustrating one isn't horror, but it's Fifth Element. That menu screen used to wind me up. But you know what? It's part of the charm. The Fifth Element one was you'd have to wait until the actual things come up. So you have to wait. You have to sit there. Now, I remember a while ago, we're talking 10, 15 years ago, Usual Suspects was released on DVD. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. I know it's Usual Suspects, you know what I mean? But still, it's still a great movie. And there was a competition. I'm sure, who did it? Was it Universal? I can't remember who did Usual Suspects now, off the top of my head. Whichever film company did Usual Suspects did this competition where if you watched the menu screen and looked for a special clue, you could win something. I sat there for hours trying to cipher what this the menu screen, what does that mean? What does that flash mean? And that was before you could have the internet to a point where you could see it, freeze frame it, zoom in. It was a case of sitting there and physically putting it on and watching and waiting for it. And do you know what? I didn't find what it was, and I don't know if anyone won. But menu screens, amazing, absolutely amazing. Another thing is, of course, is all your special features. Take the Arrow Blu-ray, for example, of The Thing. Oh wow! Any Arrow release, the extras are just phenomenal. I haven't even got through the Thing Blu-ray extras. It's even got the old documentary from the original. I love it. I just love it. And that's something you do not get with streaming services. You might get on a few. You might get the few makings of and behind the scenes and stuff like that. But it's not the same. Not the same. So that's number 2. Number 3 is, of course, the greatest thing about collecting horror DVDs, vinyl, anything Blu-ray, anything physical media, is the artwork. The artwork on some of these releases are absolutely astounding. Vinyl being a big one for me and Liam, obviously. The artwork is a huge part of the package. Some of the artwork, Ghoulish Gary, I could go on. Drew Struzan. There's tons of artists doing amazing stuff. And for me, back in the day, physical media, when I was a kid, going into my old shop that had a little corner for VHS rental, yeah, the covers, the horror covers would stick in my mind. I remember House. I always remember House with the ding dong and the doorbell, and it used to not scare me, but I was just like fascinated. Like that's that hand's missing bits of flesh. It's hanging by itself. It used to blow me away. I could sit there. Sorry, sit there. I could stand there while my mum was at the counter buying or whatever, or talking to John, who owned the newsagents. God rest him. He's probably gone now. And I'd just stand in this corner and I would be looking over, and they'd have, like, I remember it. I can see it now. I can literally see it as a kid. They had the VHS. It was the classic big box VHSs. They had House. They had The Gate. They had Back to the Future. Oh, there's tons of them. All the Friday 13th were there. The Nightmare on Elm Street with the Graham Humphreys artwork. They were all there. And the artwork is something else. That's why I don't understand with physical media. Sorry, with streaming. That's what I don't get is that, yes, you have this extensive collection. You have Disney Plus. I have Disney Plus. I have it for myself and I have it for the kids. It's convenient, yeah? And you've got all the Star Wars on there, but that's it. They're just on there. They're not physically in your hands. Now this artwork, some of the artwork on some of these are absolutely amazing. That's why I love about Arrow. You get the old and the new. You get it both sides. It's just the best. It is literally the best. Honestly. Love it. Okay, number 4 is that it's all mine. All this, it's mine. Nobody else owns it. It's all mine. I can pass it on to the kids. I can bin it. I can do what I want with it. But the fact is, I've been to the shops. I've bought this. I've got it in my hand. It's mine. Physical copy in my hand. I've been offered stuff, you can just download it online. No. Albums, vinyl albums, a lot of them now come with download codes, which is great. But I used to be like, I used to get an album on vinyl and go, oh, there's no download code. I was a little bit gutted. Oh, you don't get it like that. That's a bit of a shame, because obviously with vinyl you can't play them in your car, And I'd be happy when there'd be a download code, but you know what? I've never used a download code in my life. I've never done it. I haven't needed to, because I love sitting down next to my turntable on my chair, putting on a record and looking at the artwork. That's what we used to do back in the day. Liam will attest to this as well. When we used to listen to bands back in the day, there was no internet. So we didn't, we had what they called little booklets to buy other albums. What were they called? Like distro type things. Oh my God, there was one I used to use back in, in the 90s, Alice Records. They had everything. It was amazing. But the thanks lists of the bands were how you found out about new bands, because there was no internet. So you just, you looked at live pictures on an album, a double gatefold of a live album, and somebody's wearing a band shirt. Oh, I'll check them out. I found out so many bands by doing it that way, and that's having the actual copy in your hand. Nothing better. Yeah, so back to where I was. I've gone on a bit of a rant there. Anyway, yes, it's mine. All this is mine. If I can put on Alien 3 on Disney Plus, no problem. That's fine. Great. Love it. But you know what? I've got it here. And the best thing about it is the one that's on the Blu-ray is the extended cut. It's the assembly cut, yeah, with the amazing audio. The one on Disney Plus is just a theatrical. So you don't get it all. You don't get it all like you should. So yeah, owning it is definitely 100% the best thing. Last point I'm going to make, it kind of ties into all of them, but I'm going to say it again. It's the nostalgia of it all, isn't it? There is nothing better than going out and buying something physically and bringing it home and saying, that's mine, it goes on my shelf. Do you know what? The thrill of going out and going, oh, I wonder if they've got the new such and such Blu-ray or DVD, buying it and bringing it home and sliding it in with the other ones. Nothing better. Absolutely nothing better. And going back to my point of going to Blockbuster and going to, the video store, I'm very, very lucky that my 2-year-old daughters, who are in their 20s now, grown up, got their own kids, they remember me taking them to Blockbuster, and I'm so glad that they remember it, because in a few years, that maybe more than a few years, but the generation will forget. Once we're all gone, and my kids have all gone and stuff like that, there'll be nothing. There'll be nothing to say. That's why some of these rental stores that are popping up now, help them out, do it. Do you know what? That's my mission is to open up a DVD rental store. I would love to do that, because it is nostalgia. It's everything. Now, years and years ago, I used to work fitting Sky TV and aerials and stuff like that. So you go into people's houses a lot. We're talking 18, 19 years old. I was a long time ago. And you go into people's houses and you fit the box, and they go, "Oh, we have the, we're having it, Sky, put in the room upstairs. Oh, I'll take. Do you mind if I go up and I'll fit the box, or the Magic Eye as it was?" You'd walk into some of these people's rooms, and you'd see their collection, and you pause for a minute because you'd look round, going, "Oh my God, look what they've got." And of course, you're in someone else's house, so you can't be like, "Oh my God," and go rooting. But some of the bedrooms, some of the stuff I used to see, oh, absolutely, absolutely amazing. Shout out to two of my oldest friends, the Wilson brothers. Yeah, two friends I've known for a long, long time. I remember in 1991 going to their house. I'd only met one of the brothers, hadn't met the other brother then. We've been friends for years now, right? And one of the brothers' bedroom door was open, the older brother. And I was like, I looked across and he had a shelf and he had like VHSs in there. And I was like, "Am I right to go and have a look?" It's here. "Am I right to go and have a look?" Yeah, go in. So I went in. I was like, I don't know this guy, but do you know what he had on his shelf? Widescreen Alien on VHS. Couldn't believe it. Next to the other one as well, yeah, which, to be honest, it's here somewhere. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, this guy is cool. He's got Alien widescreen on VHS. It's got a white spine rather than black. Blew my mind. I hadn't met the guy yet, and I was like, wow, he's a cool guy. I can judge a person by his collection, but you know what? It's amazing. And that is the actual copy that I saw, because I've got this off him and I've had it for years. The widescreen version of Alien on VHS. Look at that. God, I've gone a bit yellow now, but do you know what? Yes, it's amazing. The nostalgicness of this, you cannot beat. You cannot take away the amazing thing of going out, physically buying something and bringing it back and owning it and putting it on your shelf. It can't be beaten. It's the greatest feeling ever. And sorry, we're streaming. It's soulless. It's just soulless. It's right there, and then press play, go. And once the film's done, you just walk away. There's nothing to look at. There's nothing to put on your shelf. Nah, it's not the same. It's not the same. Anyway, that was my 5 reasons why I love physical media, and I will always collect it, especially DVDs, because there's something about horror DVDs. There's something magical, There is something about it. Everyone's got to keep an eye on this, because I reckon they are just going to be so collectible in time to come. There you go, Blockbuster. Here's another point. I used to love going to Blockbuster with my daughters, and we'd find stuff. I'd always find the ex-rental copies, with rental copy written at the top. Yeah? Have a look for them now online. They go for silly money, because they don't make them anymore. They're a rare thing. Oh my God, do you remember rental copies? Whoa, no way. Honestly, have a look how much rental copies are. You'll be surprised. I'm still looking for some. I still see some. I've got a few in my collection, and I'm like, they're rare. They're rarer because they're the rental copy, which no one rents anymore. Love it. I love it. Anyway, that's enough about my physical media rules, part 2. And we will see you again soon for another episode. In the new year, we are coming back strong with The Howling. Proper vinyl review. Cannot wait. It's going to be so good. So until next time, people, stay safe, stay tuned, stay sick. Tinman, out.